So this is a map of the fairgrounds, and it's actually upside down. This is south and this is north, but it's oriented towards the main entrance to the fair. And these are actually photographs of the buildings. If you look at them, some of those columns are 40 feet high. So if you see the little tiny dots on there, those are people.
Wow.
Kind of put that in perspective. So this is the largest fair ever.
In area, not in attendance.
In area.
Yeah, largest in attendance was Chicago with 22 million. This one only had 20 million.
Oh.
Right,
in 1904.
Right. So the fairs were where people came to learn about the newest and the biggest and the best because they didn't really have the kind of technology to spread the word about everything.
Yeah.
So this building was about 20 acres under one roof, which is like 20 football fields. Wow. And this was kind of the focal point. This was the grand base, and they had these beautiful buildings around it. So there was a story in the paper the night that the fair opened. They turned on the lights, and 100,000 people said, "Ooh" and "ah." They just couldn't believe how everything was because electricity was fairly new.
Yeah. Where was your house in all of this?
Right there.
Is that it?
See how teeny tiny that is? So how it was almost an incidental building because so a lot of the states a lot of the states had buildings and a couple of countries had buildings. So it was right across the street from Indiana.
Nice.
And at the end of the fair, Mr. Potter bought some of the fixtures from the Indiana building to put in here when he moved it.
Yeah.
Now, one interesting thing, you've heard the term coming down the pike?
Sure.
Well, here's the pike.
That's the pike.
It refers to the pike. The pike is the amusement section of the. You could get into the whole fairgrounds, all of this for 50 cents a day, but each of the items in the pike were concessions, and you had to pay for each concession.
Okay.
And so and the pike went down to here, and then these are also concessions up here.
And 20 million people from all over the world came to St. Louis.
Right. Yes,
in
they
1904.
Did. They did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
This clock was. It's a Tiffany clock. I don't know that it was made by Tiffany. It was probably commissioned by Tiffany, but it has a Tiffany on the dial.
Right. And the same Tiffany that we know.
Yes, and it's 8 feet high.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about this clock is 1893. It's called a precision regulator because pendulum clocks don't keep accurate time year round. Because in the summer, when the pendulum gets longer, slows the clock down. Mm-hmm. This piece has 2 vials of liquid mercury in there. The mercury expands up to offset the downward expansion of the rod, so it keeps perfect time year round. And this clock is unusual because most of our major pieces of furniture came from major furniture auctions. This piece, Ellie found an ad for it. It was up in Michigan City, Indiana, in a tent out in somebody's backyard Well, in the old days when they used to have yard auctions instead of taking them, and that's where we found that.
Yeah.
Were you like, I want it? Did anybody else want it at that auction?
Well, we just
Oh, it's nice.
Just, yeah.
Yeah. And does it run as well?
It does.
It will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Wow. There's another music box.
Yeah. This one was made in New York about 1895. So what it's doing, it's playing this disc. They're interchangeable, and these pluck the notes. And behind this bar, there are 2 sets of combs that make the music. The reason it sounds so rich, and it's considered the richest sounding music box, is because they have 2 combs that play the same note at the same time. But instead of playing it exactly the same time, the second note is played infinitesimally small amount of time after the first one, so it makes it richer and longer.
Right.
But your ear can't pick it up.
It's full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how they do that.
It plays exactly 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
That great big disc plays one song.
One song.
And it's done.